You're on, bro.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session hour 106.
Thank you very much for joining us here on today's edition of
both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we welcome you on this Wednesday, the 30th day of October 2024. And we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us here right now on the Jamaica, on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. We thank you very much for your listenership and your patronage, and we look forward to your continuing contribution to the program. And we can't thank you enough for your support over the years. We thank you nonetheless for playing your part in the continuation of both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, and taking the usual calls and the messages as we gauge your feedback. After all, it's about the people, all about the people. And so we have designated lines for you to call: 876 922 4112 to 5. 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number: 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. We also take note of the fact, I beg your pardon, take note of the fact that there are possibly 3 weather systems might be moving in on the area. So there is that to be mindful of as well. In the meantime, we see a few of our regular listeners and viewers greeting us. Faye Weller saying good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. Valerie Weller Peck, good afternoon to you too. And thanks for listening, Faye Weller. Norman Hines says, blessed afternoon, Sir Dervan, Malcolm, and listeners. To you too, Norman Hines. Thank you very much for your commitment to listening and watching this program, both sides of the story, on Power 106 FM. And we look forward, as usual, to your full participation. After all, it is your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. We should say good afternoon to, who is this now? Good afternoon to Patricia of Patricia Mobile Hairdressing and Haberdashery in Clarendon, Jamaica, asking us if we could please share this video to make it viral. She says, my kid's joy is my smile. Thank you. And then she goes on to say, message to the Most Honorable Sir Andrew Holness. Call my own. Oh, she's wants to call. Is it a shop? I think that you want to call your own, or a business in general that you want to call your own, and you continue to keep in touch with us here on both sides of the story and Power 106 FM in general. And you talk in this in this recording of being hardworking, being a hardworking young mom who is looking to build or buy a home in Jamaica. So those who are able to support and contribute, then all other things being equal, by all means, let's see how we can play our part going forward. All the very best, Patricia. And so that's the enterprise. Just saw the video. Well, not the full thing, just the starting point. And there she makes an effort to share the cost of electricity for her business, which is Patricia Mobile Natural and Chemical. Well, we have no problems making such announcements, especially having done our due diligence and just connecting in terms of empathy and recognizing where a fellow Jamaican is looking to improve himself or herself going forward, but can only manage so much and no more. May more of us help those who are in need. So if you need more information off air, the numbers to call 876 365 3346. 876-365-3346 for those who would like to lend a hand. And she says she's a mom of 3, including baby girl, and using the emoji that symbolizes tears. And she's hoping by putting in a little work or as much as she can, she is hoping to own her own home right here in Jamaica. And she says, rent is a killer, but I gotta rent somewhere or one create, or she's also hoping that there's someone who could help her to create a GoFundMe page. And she says, thank you, make viral. And there's a picture of the structure that they now call home. And it could be much better. It really could be much better. So let's see what we can do. You in your small corner and I in mine. That song we used to sing as children in basic school. Let's go to the break, but in the meantime, I wonder if she pops up in a little while, right, the number, the work number, this is her work number now for her little business, 876 328 6867. That's 876 328 6867. And we trust she will get the help and support that she desires because she obviously has ambition. And sometimes that's all it needs. That's all it takes to make a difference. Let's send you to the break and come back with more in a little while.
Parents, improve your child's performance with the Children's Zone, a treasure chest of learning and fun all in one place. Captivating stories, fun, puzzles, amazing discoveries in every subject area, and developmental activities. Each issue of the Children's Zone is the door to endless learning and fun.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. Oliver Burrell says, Mr. Dervan, we need to start building modern houses in Jamaica where we use less zinc because every year we're getting more stronger and stronger hurricanes. Some countries in the Caribbean start to do that now. All right, thank you for sharing that idea, Oliver Burrell. Here is another one. Thank you so much for a wonderful program, Mr. Malcolm. Have a wonderful evening to you and your crew members. Michael from Red Hills, St. Andrew. Thank you very much for your kind message, Michael in Red Hills, St. Andrew. Thank you very much. Also, coming in from Calvin in North York, Ontario, Canada. Haven't been able to audition this particular recording, so we'll have to put that on pause for the time being. And Ambassador Michael Paul Brown of the Maroon community has also been in touch. And Carol Boeth, is this from her? Yes, she has sent us a picture. The great, she refers to it as the great tourist capital, Ocho Rios. And she added to that the picture, and it's quite a lot of water, a lot of rain, and Nancy Kelly says, I'm home, can't move. And Morris Chung says, drainage problem. And we are seeing the additional pictures now of what Orville F. Wedderburn describes as the great tourist capital Ocho Rios after the rains this morning. This is a lot of water. We trust that our people have been able to safely ride out this system. But clearly, it's a lot of water. As we continue with more here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. Franklin McDonald says, that's the rumble in the jungle. Sorry, that one missed us. Thank you for your message. Richie Nibar is checking in as well. Good afternoon. And Franklin McDonald reminds us that today's anniversary is easy. He says it is the 50th anniversary of the Rumble in the Jungle when Muhammad Ali showed the world that rope-a-dope, I'll have to check on that some more. And the message goes on to say, I see the Prime Minister is claiming to be another fan. Okay. Oh, that's the rumble in the jungle. The person who sent us the message was saying, was referencing. And also messaging us, Findley Yannick saying, good afternoon, Dervan. And the listeners, good afternoon to you, Findley Yannick. Thank you for joining us on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. So we're taking your thoughts, your ideas, your suggestions, your concerns, your issues, your questions, whatever is on your mind, feel free to share, and we'll do the best we can in responding to your messages. As we continue with more on both sides of the story here on Poro 106 FM. And who is this now? To confirm. Okay. So this is for, okay, we see it. Thank you for this reminder. We'll come back to that. Maybe when we get into the next break. Right now, another quick message from Stephen Barnes, who says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. Thanks for your information regarding history and current affairs. We try. Thank you. We appreciate your listenership and support here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. We're still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And live on your smart devices all over the world And we have quite a bit of information in that regard in terms of the data. But in good course, in good time, we will roll out some of the other facts and information material. So we continue with you here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. And we see that the Victoria Market in Kingston, which operated had been operating since May 24, 1872, closed as a crafts market and transitioned because the property would be sold. Oh, because meat would be sold. Her Majesty the Queen announced the appointment of Sir Kenneth Blackburn, former governor of the Leeward Islands, to be the governor of Jamaica. Blackburn succeeded Sir Howard Foote, whose appointment as governor of Cyprus was announced 10 days earlier. Blackburn was 50 years of age. And another one for you. Opposition leader Alexander Bustamante expressed his opposition to the announcement of the appointment of Sir Kenneth Blackburn as governor to succeed Sir Hugh Foote. Time and time again, I have said that when Sir Hugh Foote, the current governor, leaves Jamaica, no governor should come here agate from around. I don't know this new man. He needs a job, so he has got one. However, all this talk about the self government we are to get on November 11 is hypocrisy, as no country can be self governing and be ruled by a person who is not a citizen of the country. So long before the debates and the discussions and the arguments and the conversations with respect to constitution matters, the debate has been going on for a very long time, very long time. And also, Jamaican Olympian Les Leng received a second gold medal for being a member of the 4x4 meter relay at Helsinki in 1952. The winning team was Arthur Wint, George Roden, Herb McKinley, and Les Leng. Sharing with you a bit of the history here on both sides of the story. And we'll have more after the break. I did.
You're listening to Pro 106 FM. The time is now 2:30. It continues to be all smiles at Wellington Dental. We offer dental care for the entire family, including cleaning, clinic, whitening, and other dental services. There's wheelchair access and an exciting play area for the children. Wellington Dental, 57 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Telephone 876-984-5482 or 876-749-3511. Crime Stop Jamaica unsolved. 42-year-old architect developer Mr. Yuan God was murdered on the corner of Steel and Cargo Avenue in Houston 10 at 6:35 p.m. on Tuesday, January 31, 2020. Mr. Darwin was in 2011 X-ray. Two men on a motorcycle opened fire and shot him in the head. The car crashed into a building got off and shot him and Darwin multiple times. Crime Stop and concerned citizens offered a total reward of $1.2 million for information leading to an arrest and charge. Call Crime Stop Jamaica 311, solving crime paid. October 24 to 31,
Hi,
being
good
observed as
afternoon,
the United
Dervan.
Nations Global Media and Information Literacy
One moment, please.
highlights the importance of
And you have the contact details and whatever else at hand, right? Yeah, well, it's a go.
All right, no problem. Let me just run up there to him and see if he's available.
Yes, all I would perhaps ask for is just the name of the person and the person's title and the
Not a
contact
problem.
number.
We'll text it to you right now.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon to Steve MacDonald of Lennox, Big Woods, Savannah Lamar. Which one am I forgetting?
And also my people of Mannings, and just a special hello to the wonderful people of Westmoreland. And of course, good afternoon to your listeners too. Thank you very much, Dervan. Dervan, just wanted to share with you real quick that today the Manning School class of 83 handed over a check for $1 million in the to aid in the building of a new block, which will comprise of 4 classrooms to help the children of Westmoreland, and also $1 million in building supplies that was also handed over towards that effort. And sorry, $1 million in building supplies to the classroom, which was donated by one of our 83 class members, Mr. Courtney Samuels of Samuels Hardware in Negril. And so we want to thank him very much for that generous donation. And also the class of 83 also donated $1 million. So in total, $2 million was handed over to the school. So we donated $1 million, the class of 83, to be used towards the audio and visual equipment in the auditorium. So we just wanted to share that with you and with your listeners. On another note, though, we sent out kind of a bit of a disappointing note. We sent out invitations to the media houses, and we want to thank JIS for showing up to cover, and also yourself, which also took it up. It is like none of the others really cared. We heard from Jamaica Observer that they didn't have anyone down there to cover it, and we tried to send something to the Gleaner, and up to the moment, we're hoping that someone from the Gleaner RJR group would be there. If this is the footing that your new CEO is starting out on, Mr. Gary Allen, is extremely disappointing, I must say, because if whenever there's anything bad that is happening in Westmoreland, they have people that they can find to send down to cover it, and now we have something good which should be broadcasted, should be acknowledged, and should be encouraged. They don't have anyone. So is it that our news media, apart from yourself and JIS, only carry bad stories, or of course stories that can generate clicks? And is this where we're at? Anyway, I don't want to take away from the good news, and I will leave that for another time. What the news didn't do. I thank you as usual.
That's one phone call, Mr. MacDonald. We
phone calls. I made the phone calls. I sent out the emails invitation. I even went on their Twitter accounts. I even sent a tweet to Mr. Gary Allen himself. So it was done. It was done. GIS was able to be there without any phone call. Just from the media alert, just from the press release that we did. So, you were able to take it up too. So it is, it is disappointing like that when we have these type of stories. It's not being covered. I don't even recall that I ever see one of
what Paul Miles is doing ever covered either. Come to think of it. And not that Paul Miles is asking for any coverage. But, I'm just saying that these things are happening and they're not being covered. And these are the things that we need to be, in as much as they're covering whatever. I saw TVJ doing, I think either TVJ or CBM, I don't want to call the wrong name. One of them sent down a news team, a TV crew in Landila because this lady had put through some mall in a passageway that people were using illegally to enter, to pass through her yard. And they sent down a TV crew to go down there, but something like this, which should be acknowledged, is not. They have no interest. They didn't even reach it. They didn't even have the courtesy to send an email back to say that they couldn't make it. Not even the courtesy to do that. Or even to say, all right, send me some pictures and, we'll cover it. And, Observer said I should send them some picture and write up about it, and they will carry it. But the rest, no interest. And I'm disappointed in the Gleaner because they have an arm down there on the western side.
Yeah,
and
but
the RGR group.
all it takes is one phone call, I'm
Okay.
repeating it. One phone call.
Okay. You need to tell me who I need to phone then, because I thought I was phoning the people. I was phoning the right people, so obviously I wasn't. So
I don't
you
know.
need to let me know in the future. Well, we intend to do more in the future. As a matter of fact, another one of our groups is actually doing a scholarship donation tomorrow
That's
for about $1.3 million.
that's 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 from courtesy of what's the name of the organization?
The 82 group. The 82
Yes.
Trust Group, they're doing a scholarship thing tomorrow for about 1.2 or $1.3 million.
Okay.
But I think the more important point that I wanted to highlight, we have in a situation like this situation, we have 4 new classrooms which are being built by past students. And so these are things that we need to encourage, we need to highlight, we need to acknowledge, and we need to encourage. Because this is what, 4 classes, let's say 30, that's 120 lives that will be directly impacted, plus the indirect impact of it, the multiplier effect. Like, come on, man. We need to be capturing these stories. These are the stories that we need to be capturing. Ironically, we're just going through, we just passed through Heroes Day, right? And these are our local heroes. These are things that we need to be, and I think we're missing the boat. We're really missing the boat. We're really missing the bigger picture in terms of what we're highlighting and what we're promoting. We don't have a problem in promoting the bad. As a matter of fact, we probably go out and seek the bad to promote. And in a situation like this, and again, big up to JIS, respect large, and big up to yourself, Sir Dervan. The others, it's very disheartening. But anyway, I won't let that take away from what we did today. And kudos, big up to the class of 83, Manning School class of 83, and everyone who donated. We had a few people from outside who donated. And again, I want to say a special thank you to the class of 84 who are there doing this project. You had actually interviewed them some time ago, Dervan.
Yes, I remember.
Yes, so the class of 84, they're undertaking the project. And then since then, the class of 86 have joined, and we have now joined in addition to Mr. Victor Lou, who is also contributed. So
one moment,
in the
please.
near future.
One moment.
The cattle breeders' society Society of Jamaica, in association with the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Nutrimix, Jamaica Dairy Development Board, Agro Investments
Dervan, you
Corporation,
get
the
up
Heart
ready.
and
and understanding. How are you? Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Ah, here we go now. Yes, thank you.
Yes, yes. Good to be here. Thank you
Good,
so much.
good to have you on. Thank you very much. And you have company, right? Or
Yes,
do you?
I know Professor Gunjan Mansingh should be joining, but I think she should be on another line. She's not with me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think your
Oh,
producer has her number.
all right. Sorry, say that again.
I think your producer has her number. I think she's standing by to join,
Okay.
but you have to call.
Okay. All right. Well, in the meantime, let's get the ball a rolling and just confirm the others behind the scenes. I think it's one other. Yes. And all right. So we're good to go. Thank you. Thank you very much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Pearl 106 FM. And Professor Tomlin Paul is about to embark on sharing with us information related to their major AI event that is coming up. And that is going to be quite something. And we want to make sure that our participants have the information at hand so that we're able to get the ball rolling. So we continue. Okay, the other speaker, the other representative is Dr. Gunjan Mansingh. And let's take the break and come back.
Contractors, developers, and small builders contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high
I don't know. In my
the time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies. for the children. Wellington Dental, 87 Wellington Street, Spanish Town. Telephone 876-94-5482 or 876-749-3515. How much do you know about spices and the impact they have on your everyday life? Join us every first and third Thursday during Farm Talk with Auntie McKenzie at 6:18 a.m. for Spice of Jamaica. We'll give you tips, tidbits, and interviews about the revitalization and sustainability of the Jamaican spices, including ginger, turmeric, and pimento. That's Spice of Jamaica every first and third Thursday at 6:18 a.m. during Farm Talk with Auntie McKenzie, right here on Power 106 FM. Spice of Jamaica is brought to you by the U.S. Department of Agriculture Food for Progress Jamaica Spices Project.
Thanks a lot for staying with us on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, and we're grateful to the team at the UWI VM Distinguished Lecture Presentation, and we're getting some insights so far. And so we heard from Dr. Paul, and we're now going to hear from Professor Mansing. Professor Mansing, thank you for your patience. How are you? And we're very happy to have you join us on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. How would you characterize the portion of the presentations that you will be delivering, without giving away too much, of course? You say you are prepared for it, and how about the resources and the means of preparation?
AI revolution?
The former.
I think I will let for the former. I will let Dr. Kamlan call because I think it's a VM sponsored lecture. So I think they're getting the resources. VM is probably helping us with this lecture. TV.
Okay.
Um, yes, Devan, I wasn't hearing as well, but I think you're asking about the resources for the lecture.
Yes.
Yes, well, we have as I said, this excellent partnership with the VM Group,
Mhm.
and they have actually provided funding for this distinguished lecture series over the next for a 5-year period, in fact, in support of having, supporting the distinguished lecturers, the visits, the events. Um, so we really have excellent support from the VM Group for this. Um, Overall, so I think as Professor Mansingh was saying, the strategy is critical to digital transformation, and we're looking at the universities already engaged in digital transformation. It's one of our strategic objectives, and we are building out support for this. So, apart from the thought leadership and the sharing of knowledge around this area, we're continuing to build out partnership with the private sector, looking at restructuring, and how our own processes internally within the university that we can push this agenda for digital transformation, and of course the critical area of AI, generative AI, which is right on our doorsteps right now.
Mhm. All right. And what are you looking forward to the most? Is there a particular aspect of the presentations and the general showcasing of the technology, etc.? Is it
Yeah,
going
well,
to?
I could give a view on this and also ask Prof. Mansingh to say something. I think
Sure.
Professor Anand is coming from Harvard University, and he has done some excellent work there in advancing teaching and learning. And the has a business background. He's professor of business admin. So I think this, when we think of university, we think of an organization that is we're training, we're teaching, we're graduating. In fact, we have our graduation ceremonies coming up tomorrow and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And in fact, when we think of university, we sometimes don't always think of the business side of the university and the strategic development side. But as much as I would say private sector companies are involved in moving forward their digital strategy, and I know the VM Group itself has done some excellent work in this area, we want to see how best the university can take advantage of a similar kind of framework in moving digital transformation forward through this kind of strategic approach. And so I'm looking forward certainly to how what Professor Anand brings to the table, given his experience of Harvard and his work internationally, in terms of the kind of strategies that we can consider for building out that digital agenda for the university. Um, I know Prof. Mansingh is an excellent professor in terms of students, a lot of passion with a lot of research projects going on. So she may want to add something here also.
Sure.
Sure, Dr. Paul. Dervan, Professor Anand is looking at his profile, he is doing in Harvard research in use of generative AI in teaching and learning. And we in the university have also been working towards it because generative AI is now for everyone to use. It's at everyone's fingertips. So how do we ensure that there is responsible use of AI in our society? And for that purpose, we at university have also done workshops for teachers, our high school teachers, to teach to show them what they can use to become more efficient. Because if the students are using, we don't want the teachers to be left behind. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done even in this space. And I think with the next month coming, it would be useful to see if we can share ideas because we are also working on our policies. We are teaching our students how to use these tools in research, and we are teaching even our academic staff how to change their assessment methods, how to change, the learning mechanism is changing, and we have to we have to also ensure that we are leapfrogging leapfrogging into that era that we can also learn the using the new tools and nobody's left behind. That's why we are ensuring we are doing workshops for high school teachers. We're doing it for our colleagues on campuses to make sure that everyone can start using generative AI to become more efficient. And of course, the pitfalls too. Let's not forget that there is this new word which is recently being called hallucinations. That these generative AI models hallucinate, and I find it really funny because it's just a word for saying that they get it wrong. So that's why I use the word responsible use because we have to ensure that everybody understands that these models are not always correct. Anything you're taking from them, you must take ownership of it. And how you do that, that is a learning process, and we want to be, we all want to participate in that learning process.
Well, it sounds like it's going to be fun in terms of the interactions, the sessions, because you are pretty much up for it from what I'm hearing. And we want to encourage others to be a part of the experience. What what are the what else do we need to know about the the event?
Well, let me add that the big sort of banner is that this is open to the public, there's no charge, there's no fee, no cost.
Okay.
The event will take place next week, Thursday, November the 7th.
Mm-hmm.
We start at 6 p.m. and it will be on the campus in the Faculty of Law Lecture Theatre. So I know people say, how do we find it? As once you get to the campus, if you enter through the main gate, you drive in, you take the ring road to the left, and you will start seeing some science faculty of law. But I think once you stop and ask any one of our um, members of the campus or security team, they will give you some guidance to the faculty of law. Next to the MedSci building, also, if you know the MedSci building, it's a decent there.
Mm-hmm.
So we look forward to interested persons interested in this area, digital transformation, generative AI, and strategy, to come out and have a good time with us, as you put it, Dervan, at this UEVM Distinguished Lecture. We look forward to hosting you.
We look forward to
Yeah,
fully immerse.
hosting the public indeed.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Thank you too. There's more in just a moment.
And the brother strikes to his sister and says, looks like it's just us from now on. All we always need to hear both sides of the story. We need to hear both sides of the story. And the lights are all on, the world is watching now. People looking for truth, we must not win now. Be sure before we close our eyes, walk away from here till you hear the signs.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is
3:30.
We did what you done.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, and taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Let's clear some messages as well. Velta Wilson, good afternoon to you. Cherry Henry, hello. Natalie Winter says she's watching from Washington Gardens, and she's asking what's up in the news. New Minister of Finance, congratulations. Wishing her the best. And the other messages, thank you very much. Norman Hines, as usual. Valerie Weller Peck, Faye Weller, Blossom Levy says, good afternoon, my brother. Enough blessings. Enough blessings to you too, Madame Blossom Levy. Good to hear from you. Thank you very much for checking in here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. And taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. And the text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. As we continue with more on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. And we look forward to your participation, your messages, your phone calls, your questions, your issues, your concerns. We look forward to hearing from you here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. So we continue, and we're reminded that the first 500 crockery dinner sets named Jamaica Holiday, made by the New Worcester Porcelain Company of Jamaica, of is shipped from Kingston to Toronto, Canada, for sale in the 18 retail stores of T. Eaton and Company. It was the first of an order of 10,000 sets, and the retail price was the equivalent of 10 guineas each. The first group of 104 Jamaican women recruited by the Ministry of Labour for employment in Canada in a special domestic helpers program negotiated by Labour Minister L.G. Newland, and they left for Toronto to take up their employment. 1964, Jamaican Olympian Carmen Smith won the women's 100 meters at a post-Olympic meet in Nagoya, Central Japan, in 11.6 seconds. And other Jamaican Olympians who won their events at the meet were George Carr, who won the 860 meters, and in 1 minute 54.6 seconds, and Rupert Hoylett, the 400 meters, in 47.8 seconds. As we continue with more here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, and taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5, 876-922-4112 to 5, the numbers to call. And we have a few messages to clear right now. Ras Lloyd, well, it just came off the screen. Cuban in Georgia says, we want our reparations money in cash, no checks or digital currency, because of the crimes committed against Black Africans in Jamaica by the British monarch, 500 years of hard labor and no pay. And this one goes on to say, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. What's happening with the Constitution Committee? Because we want to sever ties with the British monarchy as soon as possible. The Windrush generation, how the British government has treated those people is very sad. We have to remove this Governor General for the property at King's House and turn it into home for the homeless and mental illness patients. This Governor General is not a part of the Jamaican society because he has been carrying news to the king about Jamaican citizens, and this has to stop, says Cuban in Georgia. Call coming through on the line, 876-922-4112 to 5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hi, good afternoon, Dervan. This is Natalie calling from Washington, Canada.
Good afternoon, Natalie. How are you?
I'm fine. I want to wish the new Minister of Finance all the best wishes on her new job. I know she had it before in some respects, but like to see the women stepping up in life and that kind of stuff. And I want to wish Dana all the best as Minister of Education. It won't be easy because education is a tough ministry, but I know she'll pull through. And I want all the ladies in Jamaica to step up because if they can do it, you can do it too. Next thing, Dervan, that afternoon tea that you spoke of, that coffee and that nice thing, it's something that some of us inherited from the English, but I really enjoyed my evening coffee in the evening with special company, especially when it's both sides of the story. So I can relate there. And lastly, this employment program that you mentioned back in the 60s, a lot of ladies went for that special employment program. But remember, they had to do the exam and they had to pass. So, a lot of people went up and some weren't successful, but some were. And they really, it really gave them an eye-opener back then. So that is my 2 cents for today.
Thank you for the call.
Yeah, and I really enjoy your show. So keep it up.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Take care.
Okay.
This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. 876-922-4112 to 5. And still making the news, Fable Williams named as new finance minister. Dana Morris Dixon to take over education ministry, in case you missed it. And the new finance minister, Honorable Favour Williams, keen to take on great responsibility of finance, says RGR News. And another headline, PM dismisses notion he would have taken on finance portfolio. So just a couple of teasers as far as the news is concerned here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112 and the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. So we look forward to more of your messages and your calls here on both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. And we are ready to hear more here on both sides of the story, Poro 106. Barry says, bless Dervan. All we do is have talks in Jamaica. UWI is just waking up about AI. They need to show respect to the source of wisdom, facilitating all things new over the last 24 years, writes Barry. Thank you for your message, Barry. Franklin McDonald says, Dervan, for your information, all my dictation mistakes are hallucinations from my artificial intelligence driven smart glasses. Thank you very much. And Franklin McDonald reminds us that today is also the anniversary of one of the most famous radio broadcast events with the War of the World broadcast of 1938 by Orson Welles. That was 1938. As we continue with more on your program, both sides of the story, Poro 106 FM. This message says, good afternoon, Sir Dervan. Good afternoon. Please tell Ras Lloyd that melanin or the lack of it bars no one from salvation. Okay, thank you very much for your message. Not sure who this is, but still taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. And another message, Ras Lloyd, those who do right are brothers and sisters, not just people who have the same skin color. Matthew 12. This is from Michael in Red Hills, St. Andrew. Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, what happened to the refurbishing of the Musgrave Market and how are the refurbishing works going at that market? Well, that sounds like a quick call to the municipality, whichever one it is, to get that information to move on from there in terms of refurbishing of the Musgrave Market. As we continue with more on both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Let's take the break and come back with more in just a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:45. This is Crime Stop. How may I help?
You were in there, so we need that gun. Woman, I want them to see a big car.
Don't worry, sir. Crime Stop is privately funded and run by the police, okay? Everything recorded here is anonymous. It's just to let you're invisible.
What about the reward?
We provide cash rewards for information that leads to an arrest or recovery. We'll stash the cash wherever you like, so nobody will ever find out.
All right, me tell you.
Make the call. Crime Stop 311. Solving crime pays.
Sound in the gutter in our lonely part of town. Wicked waits in the darkness with a weapon to cut some strings down. Sleeping with an empty bottle, he's a sad and an empty heart man. What he needs is a job, a little respect, so he can get out while he can. We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. The neighborhood peace is shattered. It's the middle of the night. Young faces hide in the shadows while they watch their mother and father fight. He says she's been unfaithful. She says her love for him is gone. And the brother shrugs to his sister and says, looks like it's just us from now on. Oh, we always need to hear both sides of the story. We need to hear both sides of the story. And the lights are all on. The world is watching now. People looking for truth. We must not fail now. Be sure before we close our eyes. Walk away from here to the evil side. No, 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 no. Here we are all gathered in what seems to be the center of the storm. Neighbors once friendly now stand aside of the line that has been drawn. They've been fighting here years, but now there's killing on the streets. While small coffins are lined up sadly, now united in defeat. Oh, we always need to hear both sides of the story. When the lights are all on, the world is watching now. People looking for truth, we must not fail now. Be sure before we close our eyes. Walk away from here till you see both sides. Oh, no, 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 no. White man turns the corner, finds himself within a different world. Ghetto kid grabs his shoulder, throws him up against the wall. He says, would you respect me if I didn't have this gun? 'Cause without it, I don't get it, and that's why I carry one. We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Oh, both sides of the story.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Michael has sent a follow up message about melanin. remelanin message. This is from Michael also, says the note. And before that, please tell Ras Lloyd that melanin or the lack of it bars no one from salvation. So if you wish to respond, here are the numbers once again: 876 922 4112 to 5. That's 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line and WhatsApp number, one and the same. You have choices: 876 365 3346. That's 876 365 3346. That's the text line and WhatsApp number. But there's also 876 279 8598. 876 279 8598. To the phone lines once again. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Oh, good afternoon, Mr. Portmore.
Small mind is first. Small mind discuss people. Average mind discuss events. Great mind discuss ideas. Well, I'm not sure. Well, I'm sure I'm not in the farmer, but I'm not going to say I'm in the latter, but I think I'm in the middle. Right? If some people would just focus more on, issues and stop focusing on people. You have a lot of call. I mean, they don't even call them, just text, and they would find fault with everybody who calls or asking they call, and that's all they seem to spend their time doing. No, it don't really matter to me still, because as I said, a lot of them is fly by night. From the day I discovered Power 106, way back when, I have been a ardent listener. And as a matter of fact, I hardly listen to any other station. As a matter of fact, I don't even call. Just one other station I might call now and then. Right? I just listen and call Paul. You know the relationship that we and Mr. Leng had, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one who actually, well, I wouldn't go down that there, but at least he established a lot of what format now for what, program, a lot of them, especially the afternoon program, right? You have some people, it's like if you just have to, once you're not saying exactly what they want to hear, they don't stop criticizing. By the way, I didn't call to really waste time with those small-minded people. My main concern this afternoon is with our educational system. Because I keep wondering if only 18 point something percent of our students who are attending high school come out with 5 subjects and more. Our education system is in serious, it is not in trouble, in serious crisis. We're not living in the 19th century anymore, or in the 20th century. We need people who are able to use their brain. And if we have such a large portion of our public, of those who are attending school, not matriculating, no, at the end of how much years in high school, not even, they cannot even move on to higher education because of the lack of because of, I don't know what to do. And it makes me wonder, what is the role of parents in their children's education? Are the direction that the children are supposed to go?
Mm-hmm.
I recommend an article to a lot of these young people written by Dr. Gartratry in Sunday Gleaner, because he actually highlights some of the major problems that is deep rooted in the politics of this country that cause we to be where we are, and the total irresponsible behavior of a lot of us males going around masquerading as men. Was it this lawyer? I think he was on a program recently, and he was actually discussing the issue of parenting and how the lack of fathers causing a lot of the problems in this country. As I keep repeating in this program, all the men that I know who play a role in their children's life from early, those children go finish high school and go on to higher things, go on to university and and a career. The fathers who pay attention to their children, not just a man who send a money, go give the mother, or when the youth come and give me money and say go on home. Parents have to take, and especially they have to make sure once you, as a matter of fact, those of us who read Civics for Young Jamaica learn the importance, and one of the main responsibility of fatherhood is to make sure your children are educated. Right? Now, I always ask the question, how can anyone have a child from the child start basic school? Isn't it the responsibility of the parents to make sure whether that child is learning or not, or whether that child have a learning disability? Like what most of us are wholly going in this country have all kind of different learning disability, because of the condition in which a lot of people live. They suffer all kind of brain damage, post, all kind of stress that damage mental development, or what they call it, development in this country. Mm-hmm. But if we as parents from early seek to find out whether our kids learning at the rate they should learn, and if they are not, why not, and seek assistance, whatever is wrong, when we catch it from early, so that we produce better, more rounded
individuals.
Huh?
Individuals.
Individuals are, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Recently, this discussion about, we don't have enough plumbers, we don't have enough electricians, we don't have enough talents, we don't have enough masons, we don't have enough tradesmen, period, carpentry or whatever, right? But yet still, we hear about how many unskilled youth we have in this country. Back in the days when we were growing up, you weren't allowed to waste the time, don't attend school and be allowed to go on corner. Your parents make it straight, make it plain to you either going stay in school, and if you don't, then you go and you learn a trade. Those who refuse, they were sent after reform school to get discipline and to be taught a skill. They would never abandon significant corner. Right? Nowadays, parents say, oh, me not send my kid to go to reform school because they're going to hate me, so I don't love them. So we let them go loose like animals, like not just animals, like those who we don't shut that door and no Kira, no.
One moment, please.
At Wellington Dental
Dental. They offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is 4 o'clock. Power 106 FM, the digital sound, and now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you can download on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can tune in on your mobile phones by dialing 631-359-8281 if you're in the US. And if you're in the UK, you can dial 0330-606-0953. Plus, listen to us on onespotmedia.com and the One Spot Media app, or log on to go-jamaica.com. Power 106 FM, where all views can contend, giving you powerful talk radio in so many ways, on air and online. We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. The neighborhood piece is shattered. It's the middle of the night. Young faces hide in the shadows while they watch their mother and father fight. He says she's been unfaithful. She says her love for him is gone. And the brother shrugs to his sister and says, looks like it's just us from now on. Oh, we always need to hear both sides of the story. We need to hear both sides of the story. And the lights are all on. The world is watching now. People looking for truth. We must not fail now. Be sure before we close our eyes. Walk away from here till you hear the signs. No, 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 no.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Some more messages coming in. Cuban in Georgia says, Mr. Malcolm, we want to see dialogue between the people of Haiti and the West. The people of Haiti deserve to live free, freedom of expression, freedom of speech. The people of Haiti deserve to live as free human beings, and Jamaican citizens must be prepared to bear arms to defend our Haitian brothers and sisters against tyranny and oppression. And this is coming from the West and its allies. Thank you, Cuban in Georgia, for your message. INRI, we haven't had the opportunity to listen to your recording to be able to make a determination going forward. But if the opportunity presents itself, where we're able to audition the clip within a reasonable time, then it might just come true. So INRI, that's as much as we can do on that score right now. But if and when it changes, we will let you know. And let's see, Franklin MacDonald directing our attention to the openlibrary.org books. So it sounds like in a manner of speaking, a free library. Accessible to all. Right. So let's get back to the call. Are you still there?
Yeah, I am.
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
Back in the 80s, Mr. Seattle established, he said it was for those students who were not intellectual, academically, sorry, who were not academically
Oh, they
inclined.
went that far?
Huh?
They went that far?
He said
That
that.
sounds like discrimination.
Oh, I thought it was a bit kind of, I mean, the way in which it was said is that if you were, say, some children are not capable of anything else. But he said it was for those students who were not academically inclined, but was very dexterous with their hands. So that means that, those persons who were good at using their hands to, like, and if you notice, a lot of focus was on cosmetology and those other skills. Well, it has evolved over the years, right? And you see, they're producing all they have reached even the level of university, giving degrees. All right, but there are there are a lot of programs that I am told that they cannot even find five students to make this program viable. Now, the question I keep asking: who are responsible for these hundreds of thousands of Hanakachu that scatter all over the place who have to be rubbing, cleaning up windshield, doing all kind of things that I mean, it's not really beneficial to the economy and to themselves. They might get a couple dollars a year, but what kind of waste? Our human resource is the most valuable of resource, the human resource anywhere in the world. How can we, a small country, are a small population of less than 4 million, as I always mention it. Place like Singapore must have about 4 million. Hong Kong, which is 4,400, 4,400 square miles, have about 7 million, right? Yet still, they don't have the level of illiteracy that we have in this country. Something is very wrong. And I'm not saying our education system is 100%, but there is more access now for a lot of skills because if we're hard this country, when we were growing up in the country, your parents, the boy, they now money to send you go to school, I go on to high. When you finish primary, you had to go learn a trade. You know the trade that was available at that time? Carpenter, shoemaking, mason, and both, both mason, carpentry, shoemaking, dressmaking for women. You didn't even have, a little neck of the wood. There wasn't even any skill for mechanic because I didn't have much cars, and if you was relying on that for living, you would survive. Electrician, there wasn't any great need because we only had electricity back in the 70s, right? So there was a lot of skills that weren't even available to us growing up back then. But you didn't have who didn't want you go do farming. But we didn't have so many persons walking, roaming, and wasting their time. So now that we have back in the days when Mr. Saga introduced one university was around, one Dege University, right? Look how many universities we have available now. And yet still, not even 20. I mean, it should be 70% of our students matriculating to higher education. No wonder we keep promoting Jamaica as a low income, as a low wage country. Because even those who come out now with education, because there are so many undereducated people who are willing to work for little or not because they don't have much of a choice. People who are educated can't even get a good decent salary. So no wonder our teachers and those professionals have to be leaving the country in jobs. While on the other hand, we have one of the highest country have one of the highest per cost of living
Per capita
per
income.
capita. Yeah,
Mm.
while we have one of the lowest per capita income. Eh? The kind of disparity. And so you have some of the youngsters that know what who may not go work for that because it really can't go anywhere. So they turn to scamming. But I'm saying there are legitimate ways for us to guide our children to earn honest living. But then again, honesty in this country is something like it's a word that is frowned upon. And when you tell people about honesty, they say, oh, you're going to have here in your middle. So no wonder we don't have a problem with the level of corruption that is taking place left, right, and center because most of us seem to have corrupt. We are corrupt ourselves, so we don't have a problem with the level of corruption that we have that is around. There was a time when parents would never tolerate their children to get involved in stealing anything. They would look down. Matter of fact, in our community, if you go to jail for stealing, you was like a outcast, right? Parents, I mean, we couldn't even beg. Begging was something like a crime. My father used to tell me that younger people supposed to be begging masquerade and blind people. And he said, even the masquerade dance before them stretch out their hands. We see what happened in Jamaica now. Huh? Our politicians have, and I have to blame the politicians. No wonder when Mr. Colin coming for in Britain coming with this stupid thing about constituency fund to give to the MP. They say that when they go into the constituency, they can't do our hand or whatever to people. We have literally destroyed the system that was in place that deal with poor relief and put that position in politician and which only help to further demoralize or take away people's dignity. That you have stretch out your hand, you're not supposed to. You're supposed to have agencies that provide whatever assistance you need. No politician should not go in and come and support them at the money to go back to school or at the money to go. No, that is not the responsibility of any politician. They must deal with legislation. But we can see that most of them don't even know their responsibility. Because look at the incident the other day in Parliament. When paper documents come back, they're supposed to read that 90% of them didn't read them. Yet still them vote themselves one of the largest price increase in the world per capita. And what are we getting for it? This country is in serious problem. But as I said, each individual can make a difference by you making sure your household or the way you organize your household, your children don't end up and they don't be or end up being one of those what they refer to as unattached. Because when we recently over 400,000 of those who are outside of the workforce are the unskilled. 400,000 in a population with less than 3 million. And then within the workforce itself here, the limited certification that is here. What are we doing? And we love to talk about Singapore and talk about Singapore come out of Jamaica, come take. I don't know what kind of lesson they're going to learn from Jamaica. They learn what not to go in Singapore and do, because Singapore never have. They never have nothing in terms of natural resource. No backside, no coffee, no cocoa, no banana, no sugar cane. We have all those. And look at where we are today. Look at where we are. I look at the most emirate country in the Middle East here. In the middle of the desert, we have degree 40 or degree Celsius. And they have created greenhouses that are producing fruits and vegetables. It started out as a kind of crop. Now it's
Sorry,
and they are doing well.
we're up on the break. Are you there?
Yeah, I'll leave it at that for now.
Yeah, thanks for the call. Take care.
You're listening to Power 101. 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. The Lauriston and Thompson Penn Community 4-H Club presents their annual Stew Festival and Farmers Market. The event starts at 10 a.m. and ends at 5 p.m. Join Power 106 FM for a live outside broadcast from the event this Saturday, November 2, from 1 to 3 p.m. on the grounds of Brooklyn Park, Thompson Penn, Spanish Town in St. Catherine. Everything stew. This broadcast is brought to you by the Lauriston and Thompson Penn Community 4-H Clubs, Robinson's Forklift and Repair Services, Sammy's Shoe Store, and the Electoral Office of Jamaica. That's a live outside broadcast from the Lauriston and Thompson Penn Community 4-H Annual Stew Festival and Farmers Market this Saturday, November 2 at the Brooklyn Park, Thompson Penn, Spanish Town in St. Catherine from 1 to 3 p.m. right here on Power 106 FM.
We need you a job, a little respect, so we can get out while he can. We always need to hear both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. The neighborhood piece is shattered. It's the middle of the night. Young faces hide in the shadows while they watch their mother for the fight. He says she's been unfaithful. She says her love for him is gone. And the brother shrugs to his sister and says, looks like it's just us from now on. Oh, we always need to hear both sides of the story. We need to hear both sides of the story. And the lights are all on. The world is watching now. People looking for truth. We must not fail now. Be sure before we close our eyes. Walk away from here till you hear the signs.
Yes, indeed. More here on both sides of the story, Paro 106 FM. Did we miss a call from Steve McDonald? Not sure. And yes, Steve is still online. Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. McDonald. How are you?
I'm good. Good afternoon again, and salutations. And good afternoon to your listeners again. Dervan, two things. I don't know if you have seen it, but there's a couple of videos going around on social media, and I see CVM is carrying one where someone went into a police station and started to talk, and I guess his voice was a bit elevated. Anyway, what ended up happening was that the policeman asked him to leave, and he refused to leave, and then the policeman started to try to physically remove him. And I see where CBM is saying that he has been arrested for resisting arrest and attacking the police. If I remember the statement correct. And then there's another one where it is showing where a policeman pushes someone that they have in custody from the back of a van, and then that person falls to the ground, and the police on the ground start to what appears to be hitting him. I find them a bit disheartening, Dervan, because I think, especially the one in the police station, I think that situation could have easily been de-escalated. There were 3 policemen there, and it wouldn't have been anything difficult for them to take this person one side and try and de-escalate the situation instead of having it escalate to what it went to. And I think the police, they contributed to the escalation of that matter. And I really think that they need to get retrained in terms of how to de-escalate situations. Of course, we can't make decisions on a few seconds in terms of what we see in these videos, but what I saw was definitely cause for concern in terms of the police ability to de-escalate situations. The other thing I want to really touch on what your caller said just before, the previous caller, and just looking back, he's right. Growing up back in the days, people, I don't recall you having so many people just sitting on the roadside not doing anything. I grew up in a rural Jamaica, and deep rural and not so deep rural in terms of Savlamar. But even then, Savlamar, Grangeville, and also Dallaston and Lennox Woods, I certainly don't recall seeing what I'm seeing today. Because even when I go to Lennox Woods now and in Dallaston area, you see people sitting around, young men sitting around not doing anything. And even in South too, more so in South and Grangeville. But that is not something that I used to see back in the days. So there is really something to consider based on what your caller was saying in terms of the culture has changed. I heard somebody remark that they recently went on to TikTok and they've never seen it. The person classified it that the Jamaican TikTok as the begging capital. It seemed as if everybody was on there begging. And as your caller said, we have no more educational facilities than previously. And I think there was some recent announcement that art is basically free. Was that, is my memory correct, Dervan?
Yes.
Yeah, and then I think government also have a program where they give you a stipend, so they will even pay for you to attend.
As part of the package, yeah.
Yeah, so you really have to wonder why. But of course, at the same time, when you look at it and you assess, because, there is I can recall the last time I went to the goods, or the last few times, there is a BMW just parking along the side. Relatively newish BMW, and so you wonder where, and then when you see some people driving in some of the houses that are there, it really make you wonder as to who these people are and how they're coming about by their money. So in terms of what your caller said, in terms of scamming, that is there too. And because of that, no, and because government is not really doing anything because of the economic value of scamming, and everybody is
not doing anything. Not doing anything. You sure about that?
They're not doing anything substantial in terms of curbing the wealth that scamming is producing. So yes, they're doing some things, but in my opinion, they're not doing anything substantial.
Well,
in terms of curbing the wealth from scamming.
My impression is that they have signed off on the relationship between the U.S. and Jamaica to clamp down on scamming and related matters.
They've outsourced it. For the better part, they've outsourced. And where one of the legislation that could be passed to really curb scamming is the unexplained wealth legislation. But we see what is happening with that. But when you look, as I said, there is a BMW parked up for the longest while, probably almost 5 years now. And it's just there, and you wonder, okay, has the police gone to check on that? The mere fact that it's even parked along the side of the road too illustrate a failure in governance, because you would expect that the police or somebody would go from authority and haul it away. since this park along the side of the road for almost 5 years now, but nothing has been done. And again, so no one wants to go into the skills, even though those skills here are in some instances you can earn more from skills in terms of plumbing, electrician, and those type of skills than lawyers and even some doctors, right? People who work in the bank, you're earning a lot more than the people who work in the bank. So it skills right now is paying. I can't speak for Jamaica, but people who have skills, and I know that even Canada have a skills program that you can come to Canada if you are a certified tradesperson. I should say tradesperson rather than skills, just tradesperson. So, and it's the same thing in the US. So it's not like back in the days where skills were looked down upon. And without farmers, Jamaica, we'll all be dead. So again, there is value in terms of what, but I think we find more value and more respect in begging and those who even decide to become scammers. But you know, I thought about what your caller said in terms of what existed prior, and even the mechanic, what he said about being a mechanic and an electrician, and he's correct, because in Lennox because we didn't get light until electricity until the late 70s. So there wouldn't be a lot of need for it back then. And he's correct in terms of the number of cars, motor vehicle that existed back in the days. So, you know, and one of the other thing was tailoring. He mentioned dressmaking, but there was also tailoring back then. And of course, we don't have any shoemaker, or hardly have any shoemaker now. But those shoemakers here, I cannot afford a shoemaker here in the Toronto area. As simple as so, because they're extremely expensive, and they're even tailors. I can't afford to go to a tailor here because the price that a real tailor to make a suit, you have to buy off the rack. Anything custom fit costs a lot more. So we really do need to take a look at our education system, and with where things are going. You know, a simple thing as a washing machine now is coming with controls which are that has internet connectivity. Fridges, stove have internet connectivity. So we really need to change how we're educated to deal with the new world. The industrial, the connectivity of things they're saying is the next industrial revolution. The internet was the previous industrial revolution, and the connectivity of things they say is the next industrial revolution. And you know, we need to prepare ourselves for that, or else we're going to continue to be behind, and we're going to continue not to have that. We're going to continue to have this low productivity rate, and also low GDP per capita. Thank you very much, Dervan, for the opportunity to see you up on your next break. And that is all that I have to say. And then leave some time for the next person. All the best, Dervan. All the best.
To you too. Thank you for the call. Take care.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now 4:30. October 24 to 31 is being observed as the United Nations Global Media and Information Literacy Week. The week highlights the importance of equipping people with critical thinking skills in today's digital ecosystem to discern or identify reliable content. Keys to identifying reliable content include ensuring that the source of any information is authoritative
which means they're reputable for having knowledge in the particular area. Also, check for accuracy against other sources of information. Stay tuned to Power 106 FM to learn more about the importance of relying on credible sources for information in today's media and information landscape to decrease misinformation and disinformation.
Remember positive.
Join Dr. Herbert Gale Mondays and Tuesdays.
If you don't sit down and make an overall investment in your human resource and you keep just allowing your very best to go, you are going to end up weaker.
And tune in to Simon Crosskill from Wednesday to Friday.
The majority of people in Jamaica are good, decent, honest, hardworking people. What we are doing is we are allowing a minority to control the narrative.
Featuring The Bottom Line with Ralston Hyman, the best public affairs banter on Jamaican radio.
Everything is connected. If you have more of your people employed and you're operating at full capacity, you're supposed to be getting more output, not less.
It's Power Talk, weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Identifying challenges and finding solutions in a globalized world. Make it a date. Join us.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still taking your calls on 876-922-4112 to 5. And the text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876-365-3346. Some messages to clear. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, I used to live in a certain community some years ago. A gentleman who lives next door, he was the owner of the yard. At times I heard him say to his tenants, saying he can't allow them to take over his yard. So when I hear the PM saying that he can't allow the PNP to get back in power, it reminds me of that landlord. Only thing is that he pays for the house with his own money. But I don't remember hearing on the news that the PM buys Jamaica with his own money. So how could he make a statement like that? Asks Horace, called Spider otherwise. Because he can, apparently, Horace. That's that it could be as simple as that in terms of the reasoning. Because he can. He does it because he can. So that I'm going to leave that there for the time being and go to another of the messages. Franklin MacDonald sharing with us Civics for Young Jamaicans, worldcat.org. That's something worth pursuing. This one says, Sir Dervan, in 1990-1991, only 16% of UK citizens attended university, but they were still a leading developed country. This was because they were unified, had relevant education, high productivity, loved their country, were very innovative, and their police force enforced laws and not just recorded data as ours do. This is from Michael in Red Hills, St. Andrew. Thank you very much, Michael from Red Hills, St. Andrew, for your input. This one says, I don't want to accuse Andrew Holness for misrepresenting the country by his false information on the reduction of the GDP. I give him the benefit of the doubt for the false information by saying he was poorly informed by his advisors. I'm aware that the JLP is on the back foot, but feeding the nation with erroneous information is not the way to win an election. We have internet so we can verify the information. That's where I was going to go next, to say, hold on a minute before we go any further, because this information is available all over the country and even outside of Jamaica. The data, the data is available. So nobody needs to get involved in any fracas or have any beef against anybody, because the information is everywhere. And for those, well, let me not go on that angle, but it's everywhere. So nobody should you shouldn't be it shouldn't be that easy for people to play tricks with you, because the facts are available. It's everywhere. Case in point, Google. Just to verify the information. And there are other pages and other portions of the information that is on these websites. It's not like one time when you have to take bus or taxi to go to Tom Redcom to borrow books in order to use them or to get information that you're having a difficulty identifying or just getting it. So, right. So the person who sent that message, which is yet to be finished, very right. So the person says, we have internet, so we can verify information. That's what I was going on to next. Yes. So, Mr. Holness, please don't spread fake news and don't go that route. Before the PNP came and reported the erroneous DPP, I went on the STTIN website and found out that it was incorrect. Well, there we go. If the information is out there and it can be verified, and you take it from there. All right. Thank you for your message. As we continue with more on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Welcome to Miss Hermin, otherwise known as June in Norway. She's listening to us as always, she says. Thank you very much. Miss Hermin, otherwise known as June, all the way in Oslo, Norway. Good to have you on board. Thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. And let's see. We have, right, so this was her message. I'm here listening as always. Thank you. Thank you very much, Miss Hermin. And 876-922-4112-5. Those are the numbers to call. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, 876 365 3346. And Cuban in Georgia says, Sir Malcolm, we want to see, I think I read this one already, dialogue. We want to see dialogue. Yes, read that one already. Thank you. And still taking the calls on 876 922 4112 to 5. And the text line, 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. So let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And let's see. Call coming in. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yes, sir, Malcolm.
Good afternoon. Yes, all is well, thanks.
All right. I don't know what time is I guess, but I was listening to one of your caller there making some statement about kids not growing up with their father and something about constituency funds. But what I think him say about constituency funds is that them get policy manager hand out. I think him have the wrong idea what it's all about. I think when Mr. Bruce Golden come up with that, including Mr. Andrew Wallace, them said instead of people blocking up road and demonstrating about road not fixing and drain not cleaning, that's what the constituency fund is all about. Your MP get money for that. So when the drain block up, or the road in the community in a bad condition, you contact your MP and him have that fund to take care of that. So I think him have the wrong idea there.
Mm-hmm.
Next point I hear people say all the time is that most of the guys them going around and firing gun because they didn't grow up with them parents and fathers to be exact. But I grew up in the inner city and I see guys who them fathers steer them in the right direction. Still turn out to be a bad example. So the person that they do a survey, I don't know how much people them ask or who them ask why they come up with that. How that work?
Yeah, well, again, it's data, it's information, and it's out there. Just a matter for you to seek it out. Mm-hmm.
Just like when them say them do them poll, you have 3 million people in our country, and you're gonna ask 1,500 people what they think about this party and this party, and then you come up and say this party is leading. I think.
Yeah, but you have to, before you go there, you have to remember that it's really a science. It's social science. So they have matrices that they use in order to arrive at the decisions that you hear or see them arriving at.
Yeah, but what about when you say you are leading the poll and you have a greater chance of winning election and end up losing? Whatever.
There's nothing strange about it. Trust us.
Okay. So the poll is on the right track then.
I didn't say that. Thank you. Thank you for the call.
All right, man.
All right. Take care.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45. How much do you know
In
about
time.
spices and the impact?
Absolutely. True. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Which is why you see that the people in
96 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.
Minister Taylor Williams, as well as with other private sector stakeholders. Prime Minister.